Hey, Bolton High, Joe Maselli here. It is time for some updates on our senior events. As we sit here in February, June will be here before you know it. So let's talk about some senior stuff for the class of 2022. First of all, graduation. We have set the date. The Board of Education has voted. The graduation date will be June 14th. That is a Tuesday, and that date will not change. What I mean by that is even if we have additional snow days, that will be the graduation date. Once we have locked that in with a Board of Education vote, that does not change. So that is our graduation date here at Bolton High School. We will plan it for outdoors with a rain date. That will be our kind of our goal, is to have it outdoors. It is so much nicer. Everything works out so much better. And that way, regardless of whatever pandemic numbers might be around by then, we have a plan that will work, and we will have an in-person graduation with a rain date. We will continue the tradition of alumni who are direct family members handing out diplomas. And we'll explain that to all of the kids down the road. But those of you who are wondering about that tradition, that will continue. We did it last year, and we will continue that this year for sure. We are also perhaps combining it with awards night, as we did last year. Lots of positive feedback that worked out really well. So our awards/scholarship night, some years has been a separate event. We might be combining that with graduation again. And the seating will be determined. It'll be determined as we get much closer to the deadline, to the graduation date itself. Again, I don't want to lock any commitments in at this point with the world changing the way it is, but we will be as generous and as flexible with seating as we can at that time. So that is graduation. Locked in June 14th. Congratulations, class of 2022. Prom. So we are 100% committed to doing some kind of prom. It is scheduled for June 3rd in town at Villa Luisa. That will be the plan for the prom. That is already booked. I'm committed to making it happen. Even last year when numbers were super, super high, we made, it wasn't a traditional prom to be sure, but it was a prom, and kids had a lot of fun. So we really need to continue to work on numbers. If we lock in something at this point and make a commitment and the world changes, that's a problem. So we're going to wait a bit longer, see what happens. As you know, there's lots of changes in the wind at this point in time. So perhaps it'll be just our seniors with dates. Perhaps it will also be our juniors or juniors with dates. We hope to include as many students as we can, but we're not quite ready to make a commitment because, as I said, there's lots of moving parts right now, and I want to be as flexible as I can. So that's where we are with prom. A quick reminder about graduation requirements for everyone. A community service is 25 hours. Typically, it's 50 hours here at Bolton High School, but because these students have really been at a disadvantage trying to do community service throughout the pandemic, we've cut that in half, and we can be very flexible with that. Students will be hearing from either myself or the other members of the main office staff over the next few days, letting them know that they are not where they need to be in terms of those 24 hours. Most of those conversations, because we've started them, the answer is, well, I've done it, but I haven't done the paperwork in. So just encouraging everyone to get paperwork in for 25 hours of community service. Job shadow is also a graduation requirement, so we need to do that. But we're being flexible as we have the last couple of years. You don't need to physically do a job shadow. If that doesn't work out, you can certainly do that with a phone interview. We have a process for that. And we're also currently polling all of our seniors who haven't done a job shadow. They should be filling out the poll for Ms. Redner and saying, what is it I would really like to do for a job shadow? Here are my top two wishes. And we're going to share those wishes with our faculty to see if, perhaps if one of our seniors really wants to shadow somebody in a newspaper, for example. Well, maybe one of our teachers has a friend who works at a newspaper. So we're going to try to make those connections to support our seniors. So that poll is currently active now. And of course, we also have our 25 credits to graduate. That goes without saying. And of course, our capstone. Our capstone night will be in April. We are fine-tuning that date as well. But students know where they are in capstone. All they have to do is check their capstone Google Classroom. There have been some major deadlines. Most of our students are currently on track for that, and the ones who are not have met with the capstone team a few times about that. Lots of questions about dues, so I just want to be as open and transparent as I can about dues. They have traditionally been collected over 4 years. The idea is to not have a large financial request during senior year. However, those dues have always only been used for senior items. The 4 items being paying for the prom ticket, paying for the yearbook, paying for the cap and gown, and paying for the senior class trip. This year, we're still in a little bit of flux. So right now, our prom price is excellent. So we don't anticipate a really high cost for that. Yearbook, we are currently waiting to see the publisher. Those prices jump up and down a little bit. Normally, pandemic, those numbers are all over the place, trying to see where they land. I am making the effort to shift the cap and gown expense into the budget of Bolton High School to take that off families, so they don't need to pay for that. And that is my intent this year as well. And then the senior class trip, we're waiting on final numbers and what will be available in June for us to do for a trip. We also have some money that was put down by a previous class of 2020, for a trip that was canceled. So the expense of that trip is down as well. So we're not collecting any more dues at this point. Those families who have paid the full dues, we will be reaching out to them to see what they want to do, perhaps a refund, perhaps help out another student. We'll work out with that. But so for those of you who've had older students who come through Bolton High School and are used to the traditional dues collection over 4 years, we have shifted that a bit. So I just wanted to communicate that very clearly as well. As I said, we're currently reevaluating all of that. And the last item to talk about real quickly is the Project Graduation, which is a group of senior parents who commit to creating a post-graduation substance-free celebration for our students that typically every Bolton High School graduate attends. That is the tradition. Everybody attends. It's very popular. There is a group up and running. You've heard from them. They have reached out for your support. That is not a school event. So I don't have a ton of information. That is certainly something you need to contact them. But I did want to mention it in this short video to let you know that Project Graduation is happening. That is the plan. We got a lot of questions about that, and the answer is yes. It is happening. So if you have any questions, give me a call or drop me an email. I'm sorry I'm not 100% definitive on a lot of things. I really did want to get you the graduation date. That was the most important item. And as we fill in more details, I will certainly be communicating with you and the students as well. So I wish you a happy and healthy long weekend, and thank you very much for watching.